Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Happy first day of July. Officially the halfway point of the year. I feel like I'm on a work Zoom call, not a podcast Zoom call, but it's okay. I feel like I said the same exact thing like 8 hours ago, but it's all good. I've been good, man. Really enjoying life. Enjoying the quiet time on the weekends. Still not drinking, which has been very nice. Getting the mileage back up as well, bro. But man, I had another moment where I'm like, is this what old age and marriage is? Bro, my back gave out on Friday after my ankle being sprained on the week before. I was like, bro, this is not happening, dog. Like I just looked at myself like, bro, you're too young for this, bro. There's no way this has to be a freak accident. And again, it ended up being nothing. I'm back to working out for today. But yeah, besides that, life is very good, man. How about you, man? I know you had some, you had the house to yourself, and then you have some own travel coming up. So you want to share about that?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a little depressing just because the week prior I drank quite a bit, so my throat was kind of swollen.
Pause.
And I went to the doctor. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm like, this is it. I'm dying. Like, should I spend all my money right now and enjoy the remaining 30 days of my life? But the doctor's like, no, just take this antacid.
Oh, my bad. You actually did go in?
Yeah, I was just like, fuck it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I get paranoid, and I'm like, I'd rather go and feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
than
100%.
wait like a month, and then before I know it, I'm spending fucking 40 grand to put a tube down my throat.
Do you have an urgent care at your office, or this is something you literally made an appointment for separately?
No, I made an appointment separately. There's an urgent care. Well, so coincidentally, I wasn't gonna go. I was gonna go to the grocery store, and I saw urgent care right there, and I'm like, this is a sign. It said walk-ins on it too, but then these motherfuckers were closed, and I'm like, all right, I already got hyped up about going in. Now let me hit up the other one that's 3 miles away. So that one I usually go to anyways if I need. So I went there.
You're healthy. You got a good bill of health. 50 years left at least.
Well, she didn't say there was anything to be worried about, so I'll take her word for it. But because of that, I wasn't drinking, wasn't doing hookah, and then I couldn't go in the hot tub because I had my tattoo. I mean, I guess I could have had my hand out, but I didn't want to risk it getting infected or anything. So I just played video games, running was my addiction during the weekend.
Nice.
I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it.
That's a good addiction to have, though, if you're gonna have an addiction.
100%. And then wifey came back yesterday. She was tired, so we didn't get to do a whole lot. We're gonna go out after this episode, but yeah, in terms of vacation, finally finalized Jamaica with my dad's side. So
nice.
Me, Corey, my brother Mickey, and my dad and his wife, we're all gonna head out there. Which
so just the boys?
Yeah, just the boys.
Nice, man.
Sarah won't be able to make it, unfortunately, but this will be the first family Jamaica trip, I think, in I think over 10 years, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
Because it used to be a family tradition, but really looking forward to that.
What's the agenda? So is it you guys stay in Jamaica, you guys have family out there, you stay with the locals, or is it a resort, but you also know where to go to because you're dad?
So interestingly enough, all the family I know on the Jamaican side is in Canada. So they all migrated there, but I'm sure I still have distant family members in Jamaica, but my dad hasn't really, I don't think he keeps in touch with any of them wherever they exist. So when we go, we never really visit family. It's usually, if we do visit, it'll be a friend that my dad went to school with or grew up with. But for the most part, we typically just hang out in the resort areas.
Nice.
And then my dad will drive us around, or at least we'll get a driver and then know where to go.
Nice. Is this a July 4th trip coming up, or is this later into the summer?
Mid-August.
Okay, nice. So what are your July 4th plans?
July 4th, my mom's birthday, so driving down Wednesday. And then, I'll just be there the whole weekend.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Good for you, bro. Did you get Friday off, or did you take it off?
No, these motherfuckers didn't give us
it off. They gave us early out Wednesday to start the festivities.
I'd be happy with that.
I mean, yeah, it's like an hour and a half early, but it's like, bro, give us Friday. Like, I'll work till midnight on Wednesday if I can get Friday off.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, I just know my team's not going to want to do shit on Friday, and I know my clients are going to be off.
So you're going to have a chill day anyway.
Yeah. But for you, like, are Fridays typically busy, or like, how does it work?
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are already taking the day off. And then again, we deal with hospitals. So hospitals, I mean, they're still going to have a need, right? Like, I'm still going to probably get a call from someone. But realistically, those decision makers at the hospital also have the day off. So it's like,
right.
Bro, like, what are we doing here? Like, bro, like, there's like, this is charade, right? Like, just like, let's just like call it what it is, you know? But yeah, it's all good. I'm grateful for the early out Wednesday. I'm going to go link up with some boys. For myself, you probably remember this guy. Do you remember the guy who couldn't get into Medellin? Who was meant to be at the bachelor party?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's here. So he lives here. So he's having people over at his apartment in Miami. It's dope. Like, it's right on the water, a pool. And then his 5th floor neighbor above him is a DJ. And then he turns his speakers around and does like a DJ set while like everyone's by the pool. But it's like the most relaxed, like, dope setup ever, bro. So
yeah.
So we're gonna do that on July 4th.
Nice. Oh, that sounds dope.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Super chilled. Yeah, man. Let's get into it. Again, happy to be here. July 1st, episode 184. Episode 183 is up and everywhere. We're talking about the Kendrick Lamar show and the feedback to that. But I mean, dude, I really didn't want to start with the beef, but man, this shit continues, even though we really wanted to move on from this to a certain extent. So this is new information. I don't even know how much Blair has heard about this, because I know you take your hiatus on Instagram. Did you hear about the Rick Ross thing?
I saw it in the rundown, and I checked it out right before.
Okay, so
I'm familiar now.
So get people who aren't familiar and don't know. So Rick Ross was performing in Vancouver. I feel like it was a festival, not his own show. Can you confirm that? Do you know that, or?
I don't believe it was his own show.
Yeah, I don't think it was on his own show. Like, the way that setup was, I would hope it wasn't his own show. But regardless, our boy Rick Ross.
Festival, again, yes.
Yeah, I think we're still fans of Rick Ross, even, like, right? Like, what's not to like about Rick Ross? Like, we've said he has bangers and classic albums and all that stuff. So Rick Ross was in Vancouver, and he chose to play Not Like Us at some point through that set, and things went left very quickly. There's videos of him and his bodyguard essentially backing up while 10 to 15 people are approaching them in a pretty aggressive way. The bodyguard gets knocked out, and then essentially you just see Rick Ross kind of running away to like the backstage area of the event where, you know, locals aren't allowed in. So that led to 50 Cent, who's always going to chime in to get a couple swings at Rick Ross, you know, clowning him. Rick Ross's baby mom was clowning him. And then Drake, who was kind of silent on some of this stuff for a little bit, immediately just starts posting stuff about like Toronto and how much he loves the Six. So, like, you know, like, immediately, bro, he could not help himself. And the baby mom of Rick Ross commented on it. Drake called her his GOAT. And then Rick Ross immediately, bro, like, I think like 10 minutes before we jumped on, put pedos versus granny. And I don't know what granny means. So again, this seems to be all happening, you know, all over again. So your thoughts on all those incidents and the antics of each side?
I mean, based on what I saw, it looked like it was just a handful of overzealous fans who like wanted some shine, probably had a little too much to drink, and decided, hey, we're on Drake's side, like, why not use this opportunity to cause drama with Rick Ross, who has been taunting Drake for the past 2 months or whatever it's been. And as far as I'm aware, Rick Ross wasn't the one who actually got beat up.
Correct.
It was his bodyguard.
But like, the videos are crazy because it's almost like he's holding his bodyguard out to get punched while he's like walking away. So it's like, well,
shit, if I paid 20 grand for that motherfucker to be
job.
there, I'm throwing his ass in there too. So I don't know if people are clowning him for that. Like, well, why didn't you do anything? But I don't think Rick Ross has ever like pretending like he's got hands or some shit. Like any
no, it's always been like
mafia boss. Yeah,
like it's always like the goons will take care of this.
Right.
Kind of
like El Chapo's not gonna be running out there punching people.
Right. You're just in fear of what he can order to get done.
Exactly. I don't know. I walk away from it just saying, okay, this is like an easy way for Drake / Canada to get some cool points, or at least prevent them from looking as soft as everyone's portraying them to be. Granted, Drake had nothing to do with it, so I don't know if it's in his best interest to pretend like this is some like real rugged shit that like everybody's about in the city. I think it was just a bunch of drunk people who felt compelled to cause a scene, but yeah, I don't really think too much of it. If anything, I'm curious in reverse, like how would
that's
LA respond to Drake? Like, because these motherfuckers might shoot. I don't think Drake's gonna ever get that close, but I think these guys in Toronto, their behavior is less concerning than Drake wandering around the wrong neighborhood.
Well, again, I don't think he's stupid enough to go to LA, and definitely not stupid enough to go to LA and like diss Kendrick at a concert, right? That's not going to happen. I don't think he's dumb enough for that. So what was interesting though is there's some rumors, again, bro, this is all new information, so that's why I even hate talking about it, but you know, this stuff will be out the news cycle by the time we edit this, so we need to get on it. But for this, they're saying that one of the main guys who swung at him is a member of that Canadian gang called Hell's Angel. And Hell's Angel, there was a couple Hell's Angel like members in the Family Matters video.
Right, yeah.
So they're saying there is some connection, not like Drake, like, yo, here's a few bands, like go knock him out if he plays. Because it seems like the concert was going fine until, you know, Rick Ross chose to play that song. But my bigger thing is like, bro, that's a very bold move, right? So I'm not trying to promote violence, right? You shouldn't put your hands on anyone. I don't think that's the thing we should be promoting here. But I do promote the idea of revolting, right? Like boo him, bro. Like boo him off the stage. You know, like you have to at some point, again, if you truly are, and again, we can let the internet fool us into thinking that like Drake is nothing anymore, right? His career, like that's not the case, right? And I think if you're gonna pull up to someone's hometown, essentially, right? Like Vancouver, Montreal, like that's all fucking Drake territory. I think back to when we interviewed like your buddies from like Canada, right? Like they're all like so like root for this guy, right? Like they're like he's an influence. To go to that show and then play a diss song that you're not even in. Like, what are you doing? Right? So like just that naive nature is wild to me. So him like getting booed, I feel like is an appropriate thing. What I do find odd, I wanted to ask you about, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of like Drake saying anything though, right? Like just let it be, bro. Like, you know, like post a Canada flag, but like, I don't know, man, the idea of like you like taunting, again, he's not saying anything. He's not saying Rick Ross, like, haha, like, but just him just like out of nowhere, like just seemed very pro Canada, like he's always been pro Canada, but like on some crazy level right after this. It's like, bro, we know you're trying to troll, even though it's not direct. I just wish he wouldn't say anything, kind of like just let the media, like, oh, dude, that's why you shouldn't go to Canada and fuck around with Drake, because this is what's going to happen to you. I feel like we don't need him to jump in, because, again, I feel like the people are doing the work for you, and clearly the people fuck with you. So that in itself is a win for that camp.
No, I agree. I think it's just proof that Drake is he's just addicted to chiming in on with everything. I feel like the man doesn't know how to take a fucking vacation, which is my main criticism, and I think would help him if he let people miss him, because I think there's so much he's so available to everyone that it's hard to root for him. Because he just and I think it hurts the quality of the music as well when he's constantly in the media, and I don't know. I feel like since it's part of his success, it's kind of hard to separate himself from it. It's like also kind of the reason why he's as big as he is. So that's the tricky thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think it doesn't change. I think the stance we both had about like, bro, just go away. I feel like this event could have happened. Rick Ross could have whatever, and you just like the most you do is like a post about it and just keep it moving. Like even just like those 3 little Insta stories that were no more than a combined 20 seconds, if that. Just like, bro, come on. Like we know, bro, this is a win for you, right? People are, saying like, oh, maybe he's not a pussy. Maybe the city does love him. And now it's just like, well, there he goes. Like, yo, what now when he goes to Miami, what's going to happen to him? And because my biggest thing is like, bro, like he's always in Miami, bro. So like, yo, Rick Ross himself has gotten shot up in Miami. Like, so again, not trying to put the energy out there, God forbid, like, bro, that'd be terrible. But that seems a little like, I don't know if those are the feathers you want to be ruffling when you're always in this guy's city.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Also, leveraging like the Hell's Angels tie is like the whitest response that you could have when it comes to the beef. Like, I mean, kudos to him for like having any ties that could protect him. Like, who wouldn't want that? And I'm sure there's only so many sets he could choose in Canada. But what about like Preem and all his motherfucking goons and stuff? Like, I don't know. I just find that funny because Rick Ross is the one calling him white boy, and then he has like the whitest gang.
And he got rocked by a white boy, though. That's what I'm saying. I feel like enough happened to Rick Ross's situation that it was already funny enough, bro. Like the comments were crazy. Like, I think one was like, "You'll never forget this champagne moment," and then it was just like, to his song and stuff. So it's just like, bro, like this was perfect. Like you could have just left it alone, and this would have been the first win you get in like what 2 months. And then again, maybe it still is a win by everyone, maybe, but I don't know. Once you get into it, and now you're having Rick Ross comment on your shit, and he's calling you a pedo. It's like now it becomes a whole other thing where you could have just won and then just chill and move on, kind of a thing. So it felt odd when he was finally given a layup, and he fucked it up by just being him.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, if this is like as violent as this beef gets, I'm all on board. If everyone can walk away with just a couple scratches here and there.
Yeah, a couple of security guards get fucked up. Like that's their job. So like,
they're paid to get their ass beat. So
that's exactly what you're there for, my guy. All right, so keeping on the topic of Drake, what were your thoughts on the 2 songs he released with Camila Cabello?
I think it's Cabello. Everyone says Cabello, but I know you're a Spanish speaker. I was hoping you could set the rules straight or set the record straight and tell me if we should be calling her Cabello.
I mean, I feel like I want to hear like her pronounce it, but I'm gonna say
depends
Camila,
what she tells everyone.
Camila Cabello.
Yep, we'll go with that.
We'll
be the first ones to pronounce it correctly. First pod to pronounce it correctly, because I've been hearing people butcher the shit out of her name.
Bro, side note, do you feel like her stock? This is not even a Drake affiliation, but do you feel like her stock is the lowest it's ever been?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like I again, good for her for getting all these features. I actually did enjoy her album. Like I enjoy the Playboy Cardi, but like, I don't know, bro. It feels like there was a point that she was like, I know she was a part of that famous R&B group or whatever. I can't remember their names.
Yeah, Fifth Harmony.
There you go. Oh, pop group, way better. R&B is way too much of a urban coastline that they don't deserve. But there was moments in her initial career where like she really blew up, right? Like obviously Havana is her biggest hit. But bro, ever since then, it just feels like almost like a Vanessa Hudgens kind of a deal. Like it's just like you're grabbing at whatever you can kind of and like trying to convince us that like everyone fucks with you. Like again, almost on some female Drake shit, but like thirstier.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I get that sense. And I feel like the Havana song with Young Thug was, in my world at least, her peak. And when it would have made more sense for someone like Drake to do something with her. I do know now people are uncovering like apparently some old racist Tumblr stuff she used to post. And I never like, someone's whole reputation being based on a couple stupid comments here and there. Because we always say if everyone went through
Facebook
ours.
Posts.
Yeah. One of it, I was more annoyed with not necessarily how racist it was, but how stupid it was. Because she posted on Tumblr, it was a picture of Lil Wayne, and it said, "Thank God nigga rhymes with nigga. Otherwise this rap shit would be hard." And as a rapper myself, it bothers me that people don't understand it's the words that rhyme before the emphasis of nigga at the end of the bar. I know it's very technical and like nitpicky.
No, I get it.
But for some reason, I see it on the internet all the time. They're like I think it was it was Kendrick with Euphoria and Crody. I'm like, do you motherfuckers not see that every word before Crody or phrase even rhymed and Crody's just the emphasis? But I digress.
They don't hear it.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I actually really liked the first song he had with her on the album. I think it was...
Is it Uptown something?
Uptown, yeah.
Hot Uptown.
Hot Uptown, yeah. Wasn't really trying to hear it when I first was going through all the new music just because it sounded a little bland to me. But as I went to the gym and took more time to listen to it, I think that's kind of the Drake that I appreciate and like. I think he does kind of overwhelm us with that Afrobeats Caribbean sound that he's done a billion times before. I also thought her performance is kind of lackluster. I'm like,
oh, bro, thank you. I was gonna say she was the worst part of that song. Yeah. Like bro, when that voice thing where they almost gave her auto-tune, but there was no need for it. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, this sounds like sonically awful, bro. Like,
okay, I'm glad you agree because I heard the auto-tune part. And the thing is, auto-tune can work well if you know what you're doing. Like Chris Brown, for instance, who clearly doesn't need it, at least knows how to use it when he does use it. This shit sounded like they had to implement it, otherwise she couldn't hit the notes or something. I'm like, he could have gotten like SZA or Rihanna, anyone who's not just a generic pop star like her, because otherwise I would say this song would have way more potential. But her shit was whack.
Yeah, that's my feedback, bro. I feel like I enjoyed both songs. Again, this was very much you never really see, again, unless they were piping and we had no idea, but you never really see someone give someone their own song on their own album. Like that was strange. Like it's like, hey, I'll give you this feature, but I'm gonna have my own song on your shit. It's like, why? You know what I mean? Like
to revive her career?
Maybe, bro. maybe because like I think also post her. I think Shawn Mendes broke up with her, so I think ever since then, dude. I think she's been clutching at straws, bro. I know she had like that Cinderella movie a year and a half ago that no one really fucked with. Again, I might be completely wrong, and she's like the biggest thing in pop culture, but I don't see it. I think her reaching for all these hip hop features is just the Miley Cyrus blueprint of like, well, my core isn't really bringing me to the level I want. Let me go get the hip hop fan base, and if that works, then maybe the rest of pop culture will follow. Like, bro, like this is like to a science, bro. We've seen this roll out before, right? But yeah, I thought, dude, I actually enjoyed his version, his verses on this song. Like I did. Same. Like I thought the beat was fire. I thought I would love to be at a fucking chilled bar over the summer, just vibing out to this. But bro, she was the worst thing about this song. Like the worst thing. So I don't know if it was her song and she just needed a verse from him, or he gave her the song. But yeah, man, it sucked because like I'm like, oh, dude, he might actually get another win here. And then she was the worst part. It's like because of her part, I didn't really want to go back and hear the song over and over again. Yeah,
no, fully agree. I think Drake did perfectly fine. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, the song of the summer is here. I'm like, not with her fucking performance. It doesn't have that song of the summer feel to it where like you just know undeniably you can't stop replaying it no matter what you're doing. But I really do think if he had done this song with a stronger female performance, like I would much more appreciate the song.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, again, we shouldn't really be judging the feature, right? Like we can't judge him for her. Like this is more a reflection of her. But yeah, kind of thought my man was gonna have, again, we were telling him to like lay low, and then he's probably like, nah, I got this. And then it's like, I don't know, bro. Did you hear the whole thing or just your verse? Because your verse was cool. Like again, it was very popcorn, you know, Caribbean, all that stuff. I love that. But yeah, man, she really fucked that up for him. So again, if you guys are into Camila Cabello, go check it out. Album's out right now. But
also to cut him a little slack on the he's going pop or whatever. You know how people were complaining before this even came out, like, oh, Drake's doing exactly what he criticized Kendrick 4. I don't really consider
No.
this pop. Like it's,
No.
if anything, she fucking conformed to like what he normally does.
Yeah, dude, you can't use that phrase when correct, when the beginning song is her and Playboi Carti, her greatest ever hit is her and Young Thug. Like, she's been trying to be hip hop her entire career on her own. So yeah, I agree. This is not him making fun of Kendrick for singing with Maroon 5 randomly. This is her essentially just trying to, you know, ride his wave and get, dude, my issue with this overall body of work, if we're going to get into a Camila Cabello critique, bro, like all these songs that they're trying to sample, again, it's like the poorest way of sampling. Like, it's just like the Dream song. I'm like, bro, I can just listen to that song because like you're not
Wait, which Dream song?
Was it Dade County Dreaming? Dream Girls. The song right after Ugly, which is like,
I'll have to listen to it because.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just, before I give you poor information. Yeah, Dream Girls. It's essentially the same exact song that the Dream dropped, and then she has a few words in. I'm like, bro, this is not enticing. This is not going to get me to tune in for the rest of the hour and a half that is your album.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? It's like 3 beats at once.
Sorry, the album's only 32 minutes, by the way.
Oh, wow, that's short.
14 songs, 32 minutes.
You're saying that shit was a lazy sample. She just tried to make a reggaeton version of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and again, I've always found her peculiar. Again, I know there was a couple of songs that she did with Major Lazer when I was heavy into Major Lazer, bro. Like when I first met you with Travis, that were pretty good. But for the most part, bro, like I never really understood her. And then again, not to say that you and I are the greatest that ever happened as far as looks, but also looks wise, I'm like, what are you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, You're also not like a 10, right? But then lyrically, you're also not a 10.
That's why I'm like, was it the looks? What is it? The braids? It must. I mean, I'm like, it has to be the looks, but yeah, not to bash her looks, but there's some
she's
people
a very
where you're
pretty
like,
girl,
yeah,
but like, you're not seeing a model who also sings,
right?
So if you don't sing that great and you don't look that great, bro, we're gonna get fucking canceled for this take, by the way. But I'm just saying, it's like the overall thing. Like, if the music's not blowing me away, and then I'm also not into the way you present yourself that much, then this seems like a miss for me.
If the music's not blowing us away, she's blowing someone away, and that person is Drake.
Or, dude, someone, bro. But dude, yeah, but I follow Formula One recently, and she was at like the Formula One Grand Prix, I think in Miami, and like just being thirsty for like a F1 driver. It's like, bro, like what are we doing, bro? Like, it's just, yeah, she's a very, there should be like a 30 for 30 on her, like a documentary, just to get like more insight, because I feel like there's a case study here to be done. But we'll move on. If you want to listen to Camila Cabello, listen to the album. It'll take you one episode to get through it, all 32 minutes. So yeah. But what I did want to get to, bro, is your boy. Is it fair to say Lupe Fiasco is your favorite rapper of all time, or is that a stretch?
I'd say it's a stretch. He's definitely one of them. He used to be my favorite rapper of all time, but he wasn't consistently dropping enough like for
the
me
middle
to be
parts.
Like,
yeah. Okay, did you get a chance to listen to his EP, Samurai, which is, bro, he had 8 songs for 31 minutes. She had 14 songs for 32 minutes. Like, ridiculous. But did you get a chance to listen to the EP?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so, again, as someone you have listened to way more Lupe than I. So for me, as someone who really, like, I remember the peaks when he first dropped, and then there wasn't enough in between to force me to go back and check him. So for me to hear this almost feels like a perfect follow-up to 14 years ago. Like, it's almost like there was no in between, and this is just a continuation of really good rap from him, right? With very good production that highlighted his lyrical skills. So I really enjoyed this. I think Bigfoot was my favorite track, but there's a couple other here that are really good. So how did you, as someone who does listen to Lupe more than the average person, how did you interpret this body of work?
Overall, I thought it was really good. I do agree. I think the production was really nice. And it seems like he does a really good job of sticking to his like smooth, fluid flow. Even if half the time he's talking about or using words or talking about stuff that you might not quite be familiar with. I think just the way he delivers it is fun in a lot of ways. I think his more recent work, like before this and after his mainstream stuff, is very similar to this. I think it's not quite the same as like the Cool, I think was his. No, I think Lasers was his last major album, which was like 12 years ago or something.
Right.
So I would say it's very similar to what he's recently produced. So for me, it wasn't like, that mind blowing, but overall, I still really enjoyed it. I do wish there was a bit more like upbeat songs to balance it out a bit. I feel like a lot of it was like very smooth, which isn't a bad thing, but I think I'm accustomed to getting a lot of this since he hasn't been commercial for a long ass time.
Correct. So I mean, again, I don't even know, was the intention with this album to even be a little bit more like in the mainstream or not really?
I don't think so, but this is the first time I've had like friends just randomly send me the album, and I've never had them do that. I wonder
if that's also more of a reflection of like the industry as a whole. We're like, bro, fuck it, we'll listen to Lupe this week.
Right. Especially because now on YouTube, I'm seeing like videos pop up like, did Lupe challenge Kendrick and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, it may be what you're saying. Like we're just in this drought and Lupe's had a chance to kind of shine again.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it, man. Was there one song that you enjoy, like a standout song for you, or was it all kind of like a vibe as far as like almost like a playlist?
I'd say more so a playlist, but I did really like Samurai, which was I think the first single he had on there. Really liked the saxophone. Cake, I think was the closest thing to like a banger you could say. He had a video for that too. Oh, so in my mind, if he chose specific songs to drop a video, in my mind, that's telling me he thinks those are either his favorite or standouts for that other people will enjoy. So he predicted right. Those are my two favorite.
Nice. Yeah, I thought for some reason, Bigfoot just resonated with me. But yeah, I thought it was really good, man. I listened to it like at the gym a couple times actually, and I was like, oh, dude, like this is very enjoyable. Which again, I can't remember the last time I was looking for a Lupe album. So yeah, dude, good for him. So yeah, we say it's a drop. I feel like we've been getting a decent amount of new music. So there was one more that I wanted to bring up to you. Did you get a chance to listen to James Blake and Lil Yachty?
I did not, but I saw an interview of them with Apple Music. What's his name? Dude,
Zane?
Zane Lowe, right?
Yeah.
I saw their interview. Their chemistry seemed really dope, so I definitely need to check it out. But I'm assuming you did.
Yeah, I did, man. I really like James Blake. Again, I do love this version of Yachty we've gotten since like maybe early 2023, right? When he dropped his own album that was very different and almost not indie pop, but like acid rock, bro. Like just like very different, right? And it was that was great. This kind of leans towards that because James Blake has a very emo-ish approach to singing. Right? Like, and I think that just kind of suits Yachty very well. So I won't get too specifics to certain songs. I'll let you listen to it and we can like kind of talk the next episode or something like that. But just this sound and what you've been hearing of Yachty recently, is the idea of him being like today's version of Andre 3000 crazy? Because I feel like from a rapper standpoint, no one else is really taking the risks that Yachty takes with his like song approach. Again, I know Andre 3000 is a better lyricist than him. It's not even close. But I'm saying like a modern day version of him. Like, is that a crazy fucking idea?
It sounds a little crazy to me only because when I hear the name Andre 3000, I think of lyricism. And I've never seen Yachty that way. If anything, now I kind of look at Yachty as like a Tyler the Creator ish.
Yeah, but I feel Tyler Creator fucking raps more though. Like raps.
True,
like,
but I also
more antic-y, but I feel like he raps way more. Unless that's like more his recent stuff that he's really going out of his way to rap more.
True. I think for me, maybe it's because with Tyler the Creator, it's like very hit or miss for me. And it's kind of the same with Lil Yachty. Either like I can't stand the song or I love it. Like, and I think that's kind of the beauty of the risk taking is it's either so different that you love it or it's so different that you hate it. But when it's so different that you love it and you know that you can't really get it anywhere else, and it makes you appreciate the artist that much more.
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree with that. I guess it's like, I'm not thinking about like Andre 3000 at his peak, or like some of the features we randomly get, you know, from him now, where like he has to conform to like whoever, if it's a Kanye song or a Drake song, like he has to conform to what the song is, right? And we're only getting 16 bars from him, so it's just rap. I'm thinking to Kanye with like in Outkast, where like on like the Love Below, right? Like it's like very different approaches to making a hip hop song. And like the only thing hip hop about this is that he's black, if we're being perfectly honest, you know what I mean? Yeah. But he can still, they're still like rhyming. So it's like, all right, cool, he's kind of rapping. But like there's a lot of songs on the Love Below that, bro, like he's not rapping. Like it's kind of like this version of Yachty where he's just saying things like, dude, there's one song called, again, the title might give it away, but like, who's gonna save the savior? Right? And he's getting into like super introspective stuff about like people pleasing and shit like that. It's like, oh, bro, this is like different, you know? And I just feel like no one really does that. Again, maybe like I'm limited on who I'm perceiving. No one on the mainstream hip hop level I see take those risks anymore. And I feel like maybe Yachty just gets a pass for whatever reason, but I feel like he has the liberty to do whatever the fuck he wants. And more often than not, these last couple years, I feel like it leans towards like that Andre 3000-esque of just like, man, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. And you guys can call me a rapper or a pop star. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I definitely see the comparisons. I think the average person
will think that's crazy.
Will think it's crazy because some people put Andre in top 5 rappers, greatest rapper ever, purely off of lyricism. So I think if they hear this, they'll be like, that's an insane comparison. But I do agree with like the risk-taking aspect.
The risk-taking. Yeah, dude. Andre 3000 will run circles around Yachty when it comes to penmanship and delivery. Because also Yachty's voice is very weird, right? When he's trying to like that in-between singing and rapping voice. But yeah, man, listen to the album when you have some downtime on the drive to LA, because you driving to LA, you flying?
Driving. So I have a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. I do. I drove to Orlando a couple days ago. That's why I have so much time on my hands. But yeah, dude, this album is I'm also not saying the album's that great. It's just different. Right. Like I'm gonna give it more time to like kind of grow on me. No Diddy, but this is I just appreciate the risk taking on both sides. Right, because I feel like James Blake is like also an enigma, bro. Like, what is he really, bro? Are you a pop star, but you strictly only fuck with like hip hop guys? So like, do we automatically give you like an extra kudos because like, all right, you're taking risks for coming and just being a part of this culture? So yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, I haven't. I guess a grade for this album is TBD, but I did appreciate the differenceness from, again, when it's a drought of music, 2 guys who don't want to sound like every other hip hop song right now.
For sure. No, I'm excited to hear it. And it's also funny to me, but also like kudos to these 2 guys. But like at a certain point in time, Lil Yachty and Lil Uzi Vert were seen as rappers that would never have any longevity, would be around for 2 years, disappear. Every radio station would clown them and say they're trash and it's only a trend. And here they are, like, outlasting damn near everybody.
Definitely on the outlasting part. But do you like, so you brought him up. What do you make of Uzi's career?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I've never been like the greatest fan of him. He's just kind of someone where I would pick and choose like 1 or 2 songs here and there that I actually liked. To me, he's like, I still see him as having this cult fan base. He's like I feel like a secondary Playboy Cardi, like doesn't elicit the
some
same
people might say
response.
He's bigger than him.
True. I mean, I maybe it's because Playboy Cardi seems to when the ratio between what he does versus the reaction that people give him seems so fucking massive. Whereas with Uzi, like at least he's performing and like it seems like he's putting in more effort. So I think that's why it seems like Uzi's maybe a step below him. I know they're kind of like neck and neck though, but that's kind of how I perceive him, as similar to Playboi Carti, like not going anywhere anytime
but
soon.
I feel like in a weird way, like, and dude, I never thought I would say this take, but I never thought that, I never thought I would. I think I currently enjoy Playboi Carti's music, at least the features, more than I enjoy like an Uzi Vert song. Same. Like, bro, I remember the Uzi Vert album when you and I went to Rolling Loud in 2018 or 2017, whatever that album was, that 4422. Is that what the album was called? His first one, bro, the one that had, what is Uzi Vert's first album?
Love is Rage 2?
Love is Rage. Is that what it is?
With the
Love is Rage 2. Correct. Love is Rage 2. Correct. 444 plus 222 was like the second song on that album. But Love is Rage 2 is a great album, bro. Like very multiple songs, like truly enjoyable, having a good time. So I was like, bro, all right, if you're giving me a body of work and I'm taking away 6 or 7 songs I kind of want to hear over and over again, cool. You can be a weirdo. I don't care. But I feel like, man, since besides like Just Wanna Rock and maybe like one random song here or there, man, like music wise, he really hasn't done it for me. And I feel like more of the talk has been about his antics and like his pronouns than like the content, which is fine, bro. This guy is doing full spread magazine stuff for Marc Jacobs. Like, clearly his fan base loves him. It was just odd though, because I think the people were calling him out as a weirdo. There's a Rosenberg or Ebro interview where like, bro, like you're really not gonna last doing this way. And dude, he's lasted, but I also think there's a story to be told. Like, I don't think people who question his content were wrong. He's just been able to evolve to almost like an iconic pop figure that he's like stayed famous.
Yeah, no, he's definitely an anomaly. And I still feel like the 16 to like 24-year-old demographic usually dictates who sticks around. I just don't know if he can be like a Marilyn Manson or some shit and still be cool doing this when he's like 40. That's where I'm like, because his music, I think, appeals to young kids. Like, I don't think 35-year-olds like you and I are going into the mosh pit and shit to his music.
Right. No, bro, not when I was, not with this back.
Yeah. You would if you could.
Yeah, not in this back. But yeah, again, I'll be interested to see. But yeah, give the Yachty James Blake thing a listen. And we'll do like a second take on that next episode. Dude, I wasn't too familiar with the last topic on the rundown before we get into heat of the week. Pop Smoke. So I guess Pop Smoke's Killer was released. So you want to give some light on that situation?
Yeah. So essentially, Pop Smoke's Killer was finally released from jail. If you were wondering how he was released so soon, it's because he was a minor at the time when this all took place. So did he
confess to the killing? Like, do they have like, was it confirmation that he was the killer or one of the people who shot him?
I believe so. He definitely wasn't the only one involved. I'm not sure if he was the one who pulled the trigger. I think so, but in any case, they all got caught and pretty sure he confessed.
He's out 4 years later. That's wild.
Yeah. Apparently he was getting pizza and all kinds of shit in the prison, but yeah, he's lucky that he was a minor, because otherwise he'd probably spend like 20 years in prison, maybe life, who knows. But in any case, he's obviously has no job or anything meaningful going on, so he wants to get clout by being interviewed for something that took place. And the tricky thing is, obviously it's a story that would get views by any media outlet that chooses to take this interview, but I think a lot of major outlets such as academics are basically refusing to do that because, one, they're all fans of Pop Smoke, but two, it just seems kind of slimy to give a killer a spotlight for doing nothing other than killing somebody. Like, it's not kind of like a Charlie Manson type thing where the damage has been done and years have passed, like tens of years, and you're trying to like get into the mind of a serial killer type thing. I think this is purely just like a gang member who's just gonna be like, yo, I wanted to hit a lick and shit went left, and that's it. Yeah,
because my thing is, as a viewer, why would you even, like, what are you trying to learn? right? Like,
I think a motive, maybe closure.
Fair.
I think that's the only thing.
Yeah, but that's what, like a 5-minute interview.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking? Like, I don't want to know about your hobbies in jail. I don't want to know about the conditions. I don't want to know about your future endeavors. You know what I mean? Like, it's strange. Like the idea of even doing it, regardless of him getting paid or not, it's just like, what do you want to hear from this guy? Like, what?
Especially at this age too. Like, it's because I understand why you would interview like an OJ or something, because years have passed, and I think as people grow and develop, you're hoping maybe you can finally get the honest truth or whatever. But I doubt this kid's gonna go on the platform remorseful and say like, yeah, I was in this mindset and I did this. Like, I don't recommend anyone else do this sort of thing. I think he's gonna try to look as cool as possible, especially because
which is gonna come off even worse.
Yeah, and it's just gonna make people want to do something to him probably too.
Yeah, and definitely ruin the not ruin the momentum, but it'd be a bad look for LA culture. It's like, bro, like, okay, you want to be united, but this is also fucking happening for no fucking reason.
Right.
But even like the OJ example, right? Like, I agree with you. People wanted to, like, you know, rest in peace to OJ, but like in the later stages of his life, a lot of people wanted to talk to him, right? But OJ was famous, you know, like this is a kid who we don't know, and we shouldn't want to know and make him famous now. You know, like, it'd be one thing if it was like, we're invested in the murderer and we just want to figure out, bro, what made you do that? And now, like, what's going on? Like, this is just like, bro, I feel bad for a 16-year-old who feels the need to get popular by killing someone super. Like, it'd be a sad situation, bro. Like,
right.
You know, and you don't want to see. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it set a bad example for any other kid who's out there thinking that's their ticket to stardom.
Yeah, I can get on fucking Adam 22 no jumper by fucking God forbid, bro. So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, also weird that, bro, because you would think, man, like, if you kill someone in a state like California, that even if you were underage, you would then go from the juvenile system to the main legal system and like try you again. I don't know. It's just weird, but I feel like the idea of him being released within 3.5 years seems strange, right? Like, you're a murderer. That if you were 16 or 21, I understand, like, you're a minor, but bro, you did some real adult shit, unfortunately, and that's just kind of the consequence.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the intricate details of the case, but I think it was because there was someone much older involved, and I think they played the angle of like they were encouraged or like groomed into participating, since it wasn't just like something this kid premeditated and, like, you know, had been trying to do on his own for the longest time or something. I think it's kind of like, oh, you have an older gang member who's like encouraged you to do this, and we think this is, as a minor, this 3 or 4 years will suffice.
Interesting. Yeah. Again, I mean, I definitely would like probably learn more about the story of the case, but I don't want to hear from him. Like, that's just, I feel like it just hit different. Before we get into heat of the week, did you see that the Hawk Tua girl has been revealed and she did her first interview with Barstool?
No, I didn't know she did an interview. I saw a picture of her with Shaq though.
Yeah, because Shaq was at a concert that she was at. So I think one of the biggest country acts, like, brought her out on stage after everyone was looking for her, and all she did was yell "Hot Tua," and everyone lost their minds. And then in the interview on Barstool, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do like I'm gonna have a few podcasts. I'm gonna move to LA. I'm 21 years old, and yeah, I'm gonna be famous now." It's like, bro, what? Like, you know what I mean?
We need to put on our clown makeup right now, because we're both going into work tomorrow. This bitch is gonna be a millionaire maybe just for imitating a dick sucking or a dick spitting on sound or whatever. Yeah, that's bro. Insane.
Yeah. I'll find the clip for you and forward it to you. What was odd though is, like, in that moment, you actually couldn't take your eyes off the woman doing the interview, because, like, the way her cleavage was set up, you were like,
oh, that chick. Yeah, I always see her on my algorithm. Is she like she's blonde, right?
No, dude, she's
okay.
She has black hair. She's one of the 3 main people that So Portnoy has his own podcast, and she's one of the girls on that. But I'll forward it to you. Yeah, because in that moment you're like, yo, like, let's just focus on you. Kind of.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't see this Hawk Tuah girl lasting that long unless she's very smart and somehow, I don't know if she fucking starts some sort of spit business, some saliva thing,
OnlyFans or something. But I mean, it's also interesting, bro, because like, bro, you're essentially just a girl that a random YouTuber interviewer on the streets, like, so it's not like he came to your show and like discovered you. Like, this is a random question you were asked, and now you're being brought out at a fucking stadium by the #1 country. Like, very interesting country we live in, bro.
I know. Especially, can you imagine, like, if that was your daughter too, and like every other dude's asking you to...
Her parents are like, they find it so funny.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, she seems like a child who jokes around a lot, so I'm sure the parents aren't surprised. And I'm not trying to imply that, you know, she's some whore for fucking making a spit sound, but if that's, unfortunately, all guys are gonna treat her like they want her to spit on their dick or something, which is gonna be an odd future for her.
Yeah, very odd. Oh, you're the Hawk Tuah girl from like 2024. It's like fucking, she's like 40. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. But all right, man, before we get out of here and get ready for the July 4th festivities and your drive home, what was your heat of the week?
My heat of the week. I showed this one to you. Denzel Curry released a new track called Black Flag Freestyle. It popped up on YouTube for me, and I know we've chatted about Denzel Curry here and there in the past. We're both fans, but I had no idea he was, I guess, gearing up for a new album.
Is he? I didn't realize that either.
Yep. So he's gearing up for a new album. And the song features That Mexican OT, which is pretty popular. I think maybe the most popular Mexican rapper I've come across in years, who's out of Texas. Sounds very Texan. He has a dope flow too, and he's also on the freestyle and or this song. And overall, it's really dope because it has like a hardcore Memphis bounce to it. Sounds like something Juicy J would be on. Definitely a club banger. My favorite song right now to run to. So if you haven't heard it,
it's on YouTube only though, right?
No, it's on streaming platforms as well.
Oh, can you send it to me again?
Yeah,
I think it was just on YouTube. Because I definitely I fuck with Denzel
The name's
Curry.
kind of misleading because you would think it's just some random YouTube drop.
All right, cool. Yeah, I fuck with Denzel heavy. That'd be great, dude. I saw him when I went with Gina in 2022, so 2 years ago, to Coachella. His set was crazy, bro. Like, for just like a pure rapper set, like very impressive. But I get it's also like, bro, like I feel like if you perform at nighttime, they're just able to do so much with the lights that it kind of just makes everyone very good at nighttime.
For sure. Yeah, during the day is really tough unless you're
tough,
a weed
bro.
rapper or something and you just want people to vibe out.
Yeah, so that's why I felt bad for Vince Staples, because he had like a 2 p.m. set and it's like bright as day and everyone's just like, all right.
Yeah,
you know, that's a great album. He's fucking performing his life out. It wasn't hitting. But
he's
send me that.
Artist.
I'll definitely listen to that one again. Dude, for me, I'm gonna go Lupe, man. I really enjoyed Bigfoot on the Samurai EP/album. Yeah, just like a very like you said, most of the songs kind of sound melodically the same, but that one lyrically just stood out a little bit more. And yeah, I just really appreciate that rapidy rap flow, but like again, not trying to hit you over the head with it. And I feel like with Lupe, what I appreciate, they're still trying to be like a sonic sound here that sounds cohesive, right? Because not it's the same, but like sometimes when I hear these guys like just trying to rapidy rap over any beat, it reminds me, even though they sound super intelligent and clearly have a good skill set, it reminds me to a certain extent of that like stereotypical LA rapper who like can't rap to the beat, you know, like even though like one's not lyrical at all and one's super lyrical, like you not being able to be in sync with the beat, it's like, bro, like half of this is just me and like, does it sound nice, right? And then the rest is like, do I enjoy the lyrics? So like I appreciate that Lupe very much flows on these beats very well, and then he's also actually saying something.
Yeah, No, that's always what been my favorite aspect of him is, even though at times it sounds I guess the opposite of dumbed down.
Yeah,
It
like
sounds
it's too
good.
woke. Like in
Yeah,
a kind
it's
of
like
way.
too woke, and you're like, I'm not in the mood for this. It's too serious, but he flows and makes it more accessible, so you don't
Yeah.
feel like you're in a fucking university course.
Correct. Yeah, it's not a TED talk. That's what I do with my boy. Like Sam hit me up about it. I was like, man, because like, his first question to me, dude, was like, "Are you a Lupe fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, back in 2010." He's like, noted. He's like, "Well, he dropped a very good album." I was like, "All right, I'll give," because you're saying it again. It's a drought right now, but yeah, man, I've actually listened to this album like 2 or 3 times. Where again, I can't remember the last time I just sat down listened to a whole Lupe album. Like. Maybe a couple songs here and there, like the classics, but yeah, man, it's really enjoyable.
Nice. No, glad you enjoyed it. And I would hope that like Lupe fans aren't, I don't know, sometimes I get the sense that like hardcore Lupe fans will kind of become pretentious and all of a sudden that they refuse to listen to like Lil Yachty or fucking Drake or whatever else, because they're like, now I'm actually learning something and it sounds good. Like, but you're over there, listening to perk music and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like you can just listen to everything and pick
listen
and
to
choose.
everything, bro. Yeah, listen to everything. Question for you, and this could be like the last thing before we get out of here. Do you think with said drought in hip hop, is this like the perfect time for those like old school quote unquote rappers to try to make a comeback? Right? Because like I think if you ask a lot, these guys don't stop rapping, right? They stop being relevant. But like, for example, with Killer Mike winning album of the year, with, you know what I mean? Like, is this the time for like rappers of a certain age to be like, you know what, bro? Let's like a Nelly or a T.I. Bro, I heard Slick Rick is dropping an album this fucking summer. So like, do you think this is like the time for them to like, yo, fuck it, if it's not in 2024, it's never going to happen?
It's a great and super timely take, because today a girl from work mentioned that she actually went to T-Pain's ATL show, and I think he teared up because he said one of his last tours had to get canceled, I think in like 2017 or something, because no one was buying tickets. And I think that was kind of like the SoundCloud era. And now he's sold out, and like everyone's, going to his shows and saying how amazing it is. So I do feel like this is a really good time for older artists to come back, because no one's really doing anything interesting right now, and I think everyone's nostalgic and wants to hear all that stuff again.
Yeah, and I think there was like a meme or something about like how Gen Z is like falling in love with like the early 2000s, late like 90s. Like that's their era that they're reminiscing the most about and trying to like relive, I guess, like maybe through their parents or whatever. So yeah, man, it feels like there's a lot of things in place that if like a rapper from the 90s or like early 2000s wanted to at least try, I think their best shot is now, because it's not a Drake taking over, right? And again, we can say Kendrick has the moment right now, but dude, Kendrick's not even trying to be in the limelight, right? So there's really no one that you're competing against besides like listeners, and if listeners have no options, like fuck, like might as well try it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, so we'll see. Well, maybe we got a fucking fire Ludacris album for one more time, so we'll see.
I'd be down for it.
All right, my bro, let's get out of here. Let the people know where they can find us and what we got going on.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. We also have the Apple Music and Spotify Heat of the Week playlist on there, so be sure to check out the Heat of the Week selection. And if you're on YouTube, check down below. We got merch. Otherwise, you can get it on the website as well. And if not, please like, subscribe, comment, and do what you can to support the channel.
For the pod. Love you, bro. Peace.
You too. Peace.